Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lynn. Namaskar. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. The winter session of India's parliament is set to begin from Monday. The government says it's ready to discuss any topic. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu condemns the killing of Israeli in UAE as criminal anti-Semitic terrorist attack. And in the IPL 2025 mega auction, Pant becomes the costliest player with 27 crore bid. Well, world leaders have agreed to a hard-fought COP29 deal in Baku to provide $300 billion in annual climate finance by 2035 to help poorer countries deal with the impacts of climate change, with rich countries leading the payments. The new deal, it's a new goal in fact, is intended to replace developed countries' previous commitment, which was to provide $100 billion per year in climate finance for the poorer countries by 2020. But that goal was met 2 years late in 2022 and it expires in 2025. Countries also agreed on rules for a global market to buy and sell carbon credits that proponents say would mobilize billions more of dollars into new projects to help fight global warming. From reforestation to deployment of clean energy technologies, COP29 President Mukhtar Babayev gavelled the deal into acceptance before any nation had a chance to speak.
I now resume the 11th meeting of the CMA. I invite parties to turn to agenda sub-items 11A, new collective quantified goal on climate finance. I hereby invite the CMA to adopt the draft decision contained in document CMA/2024 L.22.
The European Union hailed the deal as a new era in finance for poorer countries to fight global warming.
Last year I said that COP28 was the beginning of the end of fossil fuels. And what I would like to add now is that, in my view, COP29 will be remembered as the start of a new era for climate finance. And the European Union and its member states will continue to play a leading role. And we have worked hard with all of you to ensure that there is significantly more money on the table. We're tripling the 100 billion goal, and we feel it is ambitious, it is needed, it is realistic, and it is achievable.
India, Nigeria and Cuba delivered a full-throated rejection of the dollar figure just agreed, and India lashed out at a deal for the wealthy nations to provide $300 billion a year in climate finance to poorer countries, saying that the host Azerbaijan ignored its concerns.
That this document is nothing more than an optical illusion. This, in our opinion, will not address the enormity of the challenge we all face. Therefore, we oppose the adoption of this document. We oppose the adoption of this document. India opposes the adoption of this document, and please take note and regard of what we have just said from the floor of this room.
And Nigeria's delegate at the climate talks in Baku has described this deal reached by nations as an insult, as a joke.
If we walk back home with 300 and we say that the developed countries are taking the lead, this is an insult to what the convention says. It also said that the developed countries will take the lead, and this lead is climate finance. that the developing country is saying that it's taking the lead with $300 billion till 2035 is a joke. And it's not something we should take lightly. I do not think it's something we should clap our hands and force us to take it. I do not think so. I think we should rethink it.
Well, a climate change protest off the coast of Australia's New South Wales state forced an inbound ship to turn back from the country's largest terminal for coal exports on Sunday. A total of 138 arrests were made after protesters refused to comply with a direction to move away from the channel. Protests were taking place, and these were in the shipping channel near the port of Newcastle as part of a 50-hour blockade that started on Friday. The Port of Newcastle spokesperson said that the disruption due to this protest was minimal, but that an inbound vessel aborted due to the people in the channel and has been rescheduled to come in later. And another climate-related news, the 10th meeting of the India-EU Energy Panel took place in Brussels. It focused on the energy transition priorities of both sides and reviewed the achievements of the second phase of the India-EU Clean Energy and Climate Partnership of 2021-2024. During the meeting, the two sides undertook and completed joint initiatives involving technical cooperation in 51 activities divided into 9 sectors. The two sides have also charted out the framework for green hydrogen cooperation, which includes cooperation on green hydrogen policies between India and the EU. At the meeting, a work plan was adopted for the third phase of the India-EU Clean Energy and Climate Partnership 2025 to 2028, which will focus on deeper cooperation in 5 priority areas. EU and its member states participated in the International Conference on Green Hydrogen 2024 in India, with India having joined as an exclusive country partner of the European Hydrogen Week 2024. And on to West Asia now, and the European Union Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell arrived in Beirut on Sunday amid escalating tensions between Israel and Lebanon's Hezbollah. Borrell met Lebanon's caretaker Prime Minister Najib Mikati to discuss the country's situation and was expected to meet with the Lebanese Parliament Speaker Nabi Berri later in the day. The visit comes as another Hezbollah missile struck northern Israel's Malon on Sunday. That strike damaged the outer wall of the factory. One woman was injured in this attack. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has condemned the killing of the Israeli citizen in the UAE as a criminal anti-Semitic terrorist attack. Earlier, the Israeli President Isaac Herzog had expressed his deep sorrow and outrage on Sunday after an Israeli man who went missing in the United Arab Emirates was found murdered. Herzog condemned the incident as a vile anti-Semitic attack, and this is what he did in a social media post on the social media platform X. Following that incident, Israel has also advised its citizens to avoid non-essential travel to the UAE. In other updates now, a gunman was shot dead and 3 policemen were injured after a shooting incident near the Israeli embassy in Jordan ended while investigations were ongoing. Jordanian police had earlier cordoned off an area near the heavily policed embassy after gunshots were heard. The area near the embassy, which maintains a significant security presence, is known as a focal point for protests against Israel. Updates on the Russia-Ukraine conflict now, and Russia's air defense system intercepted 2 Ukrainian missiles and about 27 drones over the Russian Kursk region early on Sunday. The Kursk regional governor, Alexei Smirnov, has urged the residents to stay away from the wreckage. Earlier, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said that the Russian drones and missile attacks, they have damaged 321 Ukrainian port infrastructure facilities since July of last year, and he further said that 20 merchant ships belonging to other countries were also damaged. Ukraine is a major global wheat and corn grower and has exported about 6 million tons of grain per month via the Black Sea. After February of 2022 attack, Russia has blockaded Ukraine's Black Sea ports, affecting its shipments.
From July 2023 up to this month, 321 port infrastructure facilities were damaged by Russian missile and Iranian drone strikes. More than 20 civilian ships were also hit, were damaged. And these were the ships of other countries, not Ukrainian ones.
Romanians turned out to vote in the capital Bucharest on Sunday. This is to replace the outgoing centrist Klaus Iohannis, who is also set to, who's at the end, in fact, of his second term. It's the last term that he can have in office. Opinion surveys show that the leftist Prime Minister, Marcel Ciolasu, is the leader of Romania's largest party. The Social Democrats will make it into the runoff vote with George Simeon of the Alliance for Uniting Romanians, the likely runner-up. Analysts expect Ciolasu to win the second round against Simeon, appealing to moderates and touting his experience running Romania during the conflict next door. But they do not rule out a switch amid frustration with the high costs of living. The US President-elect Donald Trump has chosen Brooke Rollins, the president of America's first policy institute, in fact, to be the Agriculture Secretary. If confirmed by the Senate, Rollins would lead a 100,000 person agency with offices in every county in the country, whose remit, in fact, includes farm and nutrition programs, forestry, home and farm lending, food safety, rural development, agricultural research, trade, and more. As Agriculture Secretary, Rollins would advise the administration on how and whether to implement clean fuel tax credits or for biofuels. The nominee would also guide next year's renegotiation of the US-Mexico-Canada trade deal. And still to come here on DD India Live. 82 people killed in 3 days of Pakistan sectarian violence. It's day 5 of the ongoing International Film Festival of India in Goa. It witnesses the culmination of successful edition of the Film Bazaar.
Lights, camera, iffy. The stage is all set. Straight from the scenic Goa, we get you all the latest and live action from the 55th edition of International Film Festival of India, only on DD India.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy, always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium, we'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Mark Lynn. In Pakistan, at least 16 protesters have been detained in Faizabad, supporters of the jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan. They were demanding his release and they were holding demonstrations across the country. Pakistan's capital, Islamabad, was put under a security lockdown with highways blocked, major roads sealed and shipping containers as well, and mobile phone services were suspended. Now, police and paramilitary forces are on high alert. Meanwhile, sectarian violence in northwestern Pakistan continues unabated. Over 3 days of clashes, at least 82 people have been killed and 156 injured. On Saturday alone, 18 lives were lost and 30 others were wounded as authorities were struggling to restore order. India's External Affairs Minister, Jaishankar, has reached Rome for an official visit to Italy from the 24th to the 26th of November. The minister will travel to Italy Italy's Fiuggi, and this is to participate in the outreach program of the G7 Foreign Ministers meeting, where India has been invited as a guest country. The EAM Jaishankar is also expected to meet his counterparts from Italy and other participating countries in the G7 related engagements and also hold bilateral discussions. The EAM will in fact inaugurate the new premises of the Embassy of India in Rome, apart from participating in the 10th edition of the MED, that's the Mediterranean Dialogue, in Rome. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi shared his thoughts with the people of India and abroad in the program Mann Ki Baat, which is a radio program. He did so on Sunday. The Prime Minister addressed the crucial role of the youth in building a Viksit Bharat, or a developed India, stressing that the energy, skills and commitment of young people are essential for the nation's growth. He also celebrated a major milestone of the Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam campaign, which has successfully planted 100 crore trees in just 5 months. The campaign has turned into a global movement, with citizens across the country participating in the environmental initiative.
मध्य प्रदेश के इंदौर में एक पेड़ माँ के नाम अभियान के तहत पेड़ लगाने का रिकॉर्ड बना है। यहाँ 24 घंटे में 12 लाख से ज्यादा पेड़ लगाए गए। राजस्थान के जैसलमेर में इस अभियान के द्वारा एक अनोखा रिकॉर्ड बना। यहाँ महिलाओं की एक टीम ने 1 घंटे में 25,000 पेड़ लगाए। बिहार में जीविका सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप की महिलाओं ने 75 लाख पेड़ लगाने का अभियान चला रही है।
Prime Minister Modi also noted that the 116th episode of the program coincided with the National Cadet Corps, or NCC Day. He emphasized the significance of NCC in shaping the personality of students. He urged the young people to join in large numbers.
एनसीसी युवाओं में अनुशासन, नेतृत्व और सेवा की भावना पैदा करती है। आपने अपने आसपास देखा होगा, जब भी कहीं कोई आपदा होती है, चाहे बाढ़ की स्थिति हो, कहीं भूकंप आया हो, कोई हादसा हुआ हो, वहां मदद करने के लिए एनसीसी के कैडेट्स जरूर मौजूद हो जाते हैं। आज देश में एनसीसी को मजबूत करने के लिए लगातार काम हो रहा है। पहले एनसीसी में गर्ल्स कैडेट्स की संख्या करीब 25% के आसपास ही होती थी। अब एनसीसी में गर्ल्स कैडेट्स की संख्या करीब 40% हो गई है।
The Indian government held an all-party meeting in the capital, which is New Delhi, ahead of the winter session of India's Parliament, with leaders including the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, the Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiren Rijiju, and the Congress leaders Pramod Tiwari and Jairam Ramesh in attendance. The winter session of Parliament will begin on Monday, and it's going to run until December 20. The third session of the 18th Lok Sabha and the 266th session of the Rajya Sabha will see the introduction of key bills.
हम सिर्फ अनुरोध यही करते हैं कि सदन अच्छा से चले, हंगामा ना हो। कोई भी विषय पार्लियामेंट में रखता है तो शांतिपूर्वक उस विषय को चर्चा होगा तो बहुत लाभ मिलेगा। हर सदस्य चर्चा में भाग लेना चाहता है, लेकिन सदन अच्छी तरह से चलना चाहिए। हमने आरंभ में हर पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को अपील किया है कि ये शीतकालीन सत्र, विंटर सेशन ऑफ द पार्लियामेंट अच्छी तरह से चले। इसमें सबका सहयोग चाहिए और सबका भागीदारी जरूरी है।
And Day 5 of the 55th International Film Festival of India is underway in the coastal Indian state of Goa. It witnessed the culmination of a successful edition of the Film Bazaar. Young champions also emerged with the conclusion of the Creative Minds of Tomorrow 48 Hours Challenge, and Team Green, they were awarded with the coveted trophy on Day 5. The red carpet is also rolled out for showcasing world cinema. And the 48 hours Creative Minds for Tomorrow Challenge, concluded on day 4 of IFI. The challenge brought a lot of opportunities and experiences in the participation. So let's listen to what some of the participants had to say.
The 48 hours Creative Minds of Tomorrow challenge is finally over, and we have with us Team Green, who's worked really hard. First of all, many congratulations to you for completing the entire project on time. How tough was the entire challenge for you?
It was really tough, but we pulled it out and we had a perfect plan and we executed it all.
What were the challenges that you faced throughout this project?
I think mainly the time crunch, because we had to do everything very fast in 48 hours. It's very difficult to do pre-post everything together. So I think the time crunch was the biggest challenge.
And the happiness on Team Purple's face is really very evident, because the challenge has finally been completed here at 48 hours challenge of Creative Minds of Tomorrow. Let's talk to them. What are your learnings, key takeaways that you are taking from here?
I think the biggest learning that I got from here was to how to work with the entirely new cast and crew, which was, I think, the biggest challenge, because you get no time to understand each other, bond with each other, understand each other's creative ideas, where we're coming from. So to be able to find that ground, understanding that, you can also go ahead with that kind of, we can have that kind of situation anywhere with any project. To have that experience, it kind of gives me a skill to be a more versatile director, to be able to fit in any kind of certain scenario. So I think that was one of the biggest victory for me personally.
All right, so there you heard Team Purple, who are super excited to complete their project on time, because the 48-hour challenge has completely ended. With camera person Alok, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from Goa.
And in sports news, India's Rishabh Pant and Shreyas Iyer shattered an all-time record in the IPL Players Auction 2024 as the duo fetched huge money on Sunday. So the former Delhi Capitals player Rishabh Pant made history as the most expensive player in the IPL auction history. He was signed by Lucknow Super Giants for an astonishing sum of 27 crore rupees. That's 270 million rupees. Now, Pant was released by Delhi Capitals ahead of this year's auction, and he had been part of the Capitals setup since 2016 and was also made the captain ahead of the 2021 season. Shreyas Iyer, who helped Kolkata Knight Riders bag the IPL in 2024 for that title, was also sold to Punjab Kings for 26.5 crore rupees. Shreyas Iyer had a base price of 2 crore rupees and was pursed by Punjab Kings till the very end. The bidding war was going on with Delhi Capitals. The 29-year-old was originally bought by KKR for rupees 12.25 crore rupees in 2022, taking on the role of the captain following 7 seasons with the Delhi Capitals. The second National Sports Injury Conclave was organized by the Sports Injury Center, Safdarjung Hospital, and the Institute of Physiotherapy, Healthcare and Yoga under the aegis of the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports in New Delhi on Sunday. The focus on sports management injuries. Dr. Davinder Singh, who is the director, also the professor of Safdarjung Hospital, in an exclusive conversation to DD India, talked about recent advancements in sports medicine and its crucial role in the rise of Indian sports. Take a listen.
Sports Injury Conclave has been organized at the NDMC Media Convention Center to focus on sports management injuries, and right now with me is Dr. Davinder Singh, Director Professor, Sports Injury Center, VMMC in Safdarjung Hospital. So what are the primary objectives of Sports Injury Conclave that is a very key topic in sports management injury to athletes?
The primary objective of this conclave is to spread the awareness about the grassroots workers, those are physical education students, coaches, teachers, to have a look through what are the various injuries a person athlete can have and how to at grassroots level how to manage that.
Can you tell us about the latest advancements in sports management injuries and its treatment and technology?
So, working as a director professor in sports injury, only is kind of institution we have at India level. We have a very advanced gym and sports related, fitness related latest equipments are there, like underwater treadmill is there, bariatric chambers are there, lipus is there. Most of the times, at times even runners are there, they get pain in the legs or shin pain. What do you say? We have a lipus, then we have latest ultrasound and everything. So that we can treat the patient, and as soon as to make sure that athlete who is injured, he can go back to his field as soon as possible.
In recent times, India has done very well in sports, be it Paris Olympics or Asian Games, and sports medicine has played a vital role in it, and government is also investing a lot in sports medicine and physiotherapists. So how do you see this initiative by government?
Our Prime Minister Modi ji also has given a slogan that Fit India. To make everyone fit in the India, the good health is necessary. To being fit and having good health for among the school children and adults and elderly persons equally have to be involved. So awareness should be started at the grassroots level, as I said previously. It should be inculcated at the school level. Then slowly and steadily, you can say that proper warm-up, proper exercises should be instituted, and proper body habitus should be inculcated.
So that was Dr. Devinder Singh, who talked about the sports medicines, its field, and how sports management injuries can be cured with proper diagnosis and treatment. He also talked about government investment in sports medicines that is helping athletes bag medals and make India proud. With cameraman Sunil Rana, this is Abhishek Prasad for DD India.
Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India Live. Let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us also on various other means, Facebook, etc. But you can also get the latest news and updates from our DD India mobile app, which is available on Android and iOS platforms. You just have to scan it and download it. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Mark Lim. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for being with us. Namaskar.